Hello and good afternoon. This is Lady Bobannon coming to you from outside my house in the great state of Texas. I'm sure you can hear my car idling nearby and maybe some birds. So I'm going to try this faceless video again. Today's topic is how a pathologically narcissistic person wants you to do the inner work for them and do work in general for them. They want to be waited on, they want to be adored by you, they want those ego boosts. So, I'm going to give you two different examples of that. So, I'm not going to start talking about the ex husband just yet. I'm going to introduce a new quote unquote character into this video series. Now, when I knew this person and was talking to them back in the day, I didn't know what uh, a cluster B personality was, in particular, a person who may have pathological narcissistic tendencies. Uh, I felt he was a little bit vain, but I just thought it was because he worked out a lot and took care of his body. He was very invested in that. So when I think back to my interactions with him, it's plain as day to me that he's a somatic narcissist. Now, there's a lot to this story that I'm not going to delve into in this video, but suffice to say, this guy, we'll call him, let's see, what should we call him? Mr. Golden. Let's call him Mr. Golden. So, I'm trying to figure out what platform I met him through. I don't remember if it was an MSN chat room or if it was a Yahoo chat room, but I linked up with him, and he was as hot as he described himself to be, as his picture was. He was this tall, lean guy, muscles, very defined cheekbones. He was hot. He was hot. He was also a professional, a business professional. I'm not going to say what industry he worked in. He had a lot of money, but I never really hit him up for money, and yeah, he didn't really give me a lot, give me much. I mean, he brought me some food from Katz's one time, but that's about it. We just hung out and stuff like that. But anyway, this guy, he was really into his appearance. So, he'd always tell me, so, how do you think I look? How do you think I look, baby? I look good. I look good. I'm like, yeah, you look good. But, his hotness wasn't the only reason I hung out with him. Uh, he was also pretty, I wouldn't, not funny, but he had a good sense of humor. He was witty. He was sharp. He seemed to me to have a pretty decent intellect. And as I said, I wasn't very educated on pathological narcissism at the time. So I was totally missing the science that he was a somatic narcissist. You know, he was very much preoccupied with his performance, let's just say. And he was, he cared about how I felt, and the end result of things, let's just say that. But he was very very invested in how I viewed him, and he was always seeking validation. And it blew my mind that this guy being so professional, so well spoken, such a pillar of the community, could be behind closed doors someone who was so insecure. It blew my mind. He lapped up. the supply and the attention. He got that I guess that mental and physical high from being validated. And again, this is a guy who, by your typical, you know, Western world standards, is just, you know, dropped it hot. I mean, I thought so. And over the years that I talked to him, he got into cycling, and he was a good swimmer, so he kept his body up. But there was a time where, he suffered an accident, and he was out, and he was really preoccupied about losing his fitness record, which which is understandable when when you're working out a lot. I mean, I can't speak from personal experience because I don't really work out a lot, but I know friends who do. And if someone's unable to go to the gym and exercise to keep up their regimen, their routine, yeah, that can cause a little bit of depression and disappointment. So I totally get why, he felt, disappointed that he wasn't working out and looking good. But at the same time, a lot of the focus was on how he was going to be perceived. He's not doing what props him up, what gives him the accolades. So without that supply, he just kind of, you know, he was knocked down a couple of pegs. But yeah, he was just so over reliant on his image, what people thought of him. If there was like a social score system in the United States of America where I am, yeah, he would totally be all about that. I don't know if you guys and gals have watched the series Black Mirror on Netflix, but there's an episode. I won't spoil anything, but there's an episode that deals with the addiction to uh, addiction to image. Let's just say addiction to popularity. That was him. That was him. This person in the in this particular episode of the series, they lived in a highly narcissistic world where everything is just based off of impressions and image and how people see you, and your value is tied to your social score, and even your place in life is tied to your social score. But anyway, yeah, I'll be talking more about Mr. Golden in other videos because there's a lot to say about him. I don't talk to him anymore. But anyway, let's move on to the ex-husband. So in the temporary order that I got for the case that I'm currently in, part of that temporary order had the ex-husband contacted me within a certain amount of time to let me know whether he was going to exercise his period of possession or not. And in the state of Texas, possession basically refers to the physical custody, also known as possession of the children. So before before now, I've been reaching out like early in the week just to see what's going on with the schedule, just to get a feel for how the weekend might go, so I can plan my weekend around that. But last week I reached out, after 6 p.m. on Thursday because that was going to be the deadline. I hadn't heard anything, right? And I got an answer, within a couple of hours from me doing that. But it doesn't allow me to plan very much. So this week, I decided to reach out, earlier in the day on Thursday, and I knew full well that he'd be asleep and or working, whatever, and he would need some time to get back to me. Well, it was this morning that I got a message back, and let me back up. So the message I sent was paraphrasing. Basically, are you are you planning on picking the kids up, at such and such time on Friday, and when are you going to drop them off? Like, that was the gist of the question. And the reply that I got was, and I'm paraphrasing, hey, I hope you're doing well. I just got in from a long shift. I'm going to go sleep for a couple of hours. I'll message you when I get back up. And I'm like, oh, can't you just tell me, what your plans are? Why can't you check your messages? I mean, I know why you can't check his messages because, he's very sleep deprived and working when he's not being sleep deprived and trying to sleep. But it's like, I wish he would have gone back with me before now, because to a pathological narcissistic person or someone who is manipulative and or abusive in whatever way, they don't care about your time. They care about their time. They care about how they feel and how things impact them. But if I had to work over the weekend, I'd be SOL. I have to have someone on standby. Not knowing if I need to use them for childcare or not. If I wanted to plan a trip out of town or something, my plans will all be wrapped up in what the ex-husband was doing or not doing. He's not very good at following through and following up. They expect you to wait on them and to do the work for them. So, in one of my Facebook groups, I had posted about a situation similar to this, and one of the women goes, "Oh, well, you shouldn't, have to parent the parent and be the one trying to find out what the schedule's going to be." I'm like, well, if I don't, it's going to be last minute or past the minute, and I'm going to be tied up. I don't like working like that. I'm not a person that does well with, random scheduling and planning. Like I said, if I had to go to work over the weekend, I'm going to need to know well ahead of time what the weekend's going to look like. So I know whether I can work that week or rather, what childcare I need to have in place. I want to make plans too, but, the ex-husband doesn't seem to care about that. Everything's good, quote unquote good, right now. There's not any fighting that's going on. And, even when a pathway narcissistic person, at least in my experience, is being, nice, I'm putting nice in quotation marks, nice, they can still be a bother. They can still be annoying. They can still not appreciate you or your time because, what I want to do is an afterthought. What I want to do is an afterthought. But, that's co-parenting with a pathologically narcissistic person for you. Oh man. But I'm just gonna make the most of today and hope I do get a little time off. More importantly, I hope that the kids are safe and end up having a good Father's Day with the ex-husband. Now, I've been told that during visitation, the ex-husband has taken them to like a little bar or something with a patio outside, and that kind of worries me. And this past weekend, the boyfriend was driving back home from work, and he spotted the ex-husband and his wife at a local bar down the road. Now, I don't know what to say about that. It's not a surprise. This bar has been one that the ex-husband has always gone to since he was able to drink, so, it's home to him, right? It's like this hole-in-the-wall scummy bar. Or I wouldn't say scummy bar, but it attracts some scummy people, let's just say that. And it's no surprise that he and Current Supply, his wife, would be there, but this is in the middle of the day, so I'm thinking, man, what a life, huh? You gotta, tag along behind your husband who wants to day drink. Y'all don't want to go out to eat or, go to the beach, any time off, like something, and go watch a movie. No, just gonna go drink. And the boyfriend said that he witnessed his wife going to get beers for him, which sounds just like her. They want to be, like I said, they want to be waited on hand and foot. They want people to serve them, which is what the Current Supply, his wife, does. That's how she, goes along to get along. She should be working on an exit plan, but I don't think she's going to be doing that anytime soon. Speaking of her, she's also a seeker of validation. I end up inviting her child over for like a little pool party this past weekend so that she could be with the kids that the ex-husband and I have. I consider her their sister, so whatever. But anyway, I invited her over, and in return, I guess I got something like from Bath and Body Works that she had bought for me, and I was also invited out to eat with them, and I feel like it's a ploy to get back in my favor, to get validation, um, to be told, oh yeah, girl, you're doing such a good job with your daughter, blah blah blah, because just like the ex-husband and Mr. Golden, she her she what am I trying to say? She gets her self-esteem boost from others. It doesn't come from the inside, you know. But anyway, that's just what I noticed among these individuals who I believe are pathologically narcissistic. And if they're not pathologically narcissistic, something's going on with them. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, subscribe to keep up with me, and hit the bell to be notified of new videos. This has been Ladybug Bannon, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, wait, let me see if I can show you my cat here. Heaney. Heaney, say hello. He's busy. Alright, bye.